Hey guys, today I'm going to do a review of the Skrillex EP Leaving. This is just an audio review. I can't be asked setting up a camera and that sort of stuff because it's going to take too long and I just want to get this out there. So Skrillex has primarily been a dubstep artist in the past, sorry, but this album kind of changes it up a little. Mixes in a bit of future garage and like the common type of underground dubstep, I guess you could call it. Now the opening track, The Reason, starts off, the first thing I noticed, it was very similar to Burial in that future garage genre type thing. Very heavy effects on the voice like you'd hear in Burial or with James Blake or some, maybe even Subtract, which was kind of surprising to me. That was the first thing I absolutely thought was, wow, this sounds like Burial. So, and I was quite excited at that point because I like Burial and I've not really been a fan of Skrillex's stuff in the past. But as it started going a bit further into the song, it was really repetitive. That was kind of, that really put me off. I'm pretty sure the only thing that the vocals say is The Reason over and over again, and that kind of ruined for me straight up. The chorus comes in, and I think it's pretty catchy, but it's nothing new. It's just a bit of development on the verse itself, if you can call it the verse. After the chorus, it goes into a bit of a longer section of just instrumental, almost an instrumental version of the first half of the song, and it's not bad, but it doesn't really stand out. There's nothing, the melody's not overly interesting at all, and it was just a bit okay. There was nothing that really annoyed me though. It slowly builds up, almost as if it's going into like one of his usual drops or something, but it just goes into the repetitive chorus again, and it really didn't need to. It really didn't need to build up like that. It's not. This type of genre doesn't really require that, and I know I'm not trying to restrict him to just because he has gone into a bit of a future garage genre for this track. I'm not going to restrict him and get annoyed if he doesn't stick to the basics on that, because experimentation in music is important. But yeah, it didn't need to build up. It built up into just the repetitive chorus again, and yeah, it was just a bit nothing. But overall, it was too repetitive, the whole track was, but the lack of his usual fully sick, dirty drops was quite nice. It was a refreshing direction for him to take. The second track, Scary Bolly Dub, that sounds a bit more like his usual stuff. It's got his usual build-ups, drops, and that sort of stuff, which I'm not usually too much of a fan on, but I didn't mind the first bit of this track. It features samples from Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites and Effing Die #1 or something. I'm not sure if that's how you're supposed to say that name. But before that, it was kind of on its own melody and that sort of thing, and I really enjoyed that. But yeah, once the two samples come in, yeah, I'm not a fan of those tracks. It wasn't going to do it for me. Maybe some fans of Skrillex who do like those tracks would quite enjoy it. And then the closing track, Leaving, is much more like The Reason, the first track. Goes back into the future garage section, even more so I think than the opening track. Overall, to start with, I thought, oh yeah, this is again going on the right track, but it was that repetition got it again. That, especially with the vocals, the repetitive vocals, just yeah, it makes it so much more obvious for the rest of the track. It had the heavy effects on it again, and yeah, very much sounded like Burial. Not too much though. I'm not saying he's copying off Burial or anything. He's got his own style, but just in moving into that, he's obviously influenced by Burial. Then this bass line comes in, and I was like, I really like this bit. It's got a really catchy kind of tune. It's got a really nice sound to it, very deep, and that pops up a few times through the track. I really like that. The orchestral styled synth sections are also mixed in there, and I really like them as well. They would have been nice. So for this track, it had a bit of potential. Repetition really got it again, but this one was probably my favourite track off the EP. It needed some more dynamic stuff, but yeah, it's definitely a step in the right direction, and I would probably listen to this again. It wasn't that bad. So overall for the album, or the EP, I gave it a 5 out of 10. In summary, it's a step in the right direction, certainly. For me at least, I'm not interested in his usual type of music like the second track and his past EPs and albums and etc. etc. I found it much more interesting than that sort of stuff, and if he continues in this direction, then I'll be intrigued to see what he releases, because I'm liking this new style. It's just it's got a bit to work on, but it is the first time he's done anything like this that I'm aware of, at least. So, you know, for the next album, maybe he'll experiment more with it and get it a bit more right. But anyways, thank you for listening. If you've got your own opinion on the album, please share it. Remember, this is my opinion. Don't hate on me because I didn't like the album as much as you did. That's, again, we're human. I thought I stated it enough in my last album review, but obviously not. So yeah, thanks for listening. If you've got something you want me to review, let me know. And until next time, goodbye.